Hey peeps, I'm coming to you from the harbor tonight. You can see the boats behind me. It's a really lovely evening just after sunset. And I just want to talk to you about something that's been really important in my recovery path. And that is developing a strong spirit. So what I realized is that it's really easy after struggling with CFS, as I have for 6 years, for your spirit to get worn down. And I think a lot of us go through this. It's just, as much as we want to be positive and hopeful and optimistic, I think the day in and day out challenges that we experience physically and emotionally, I think that they just take their toll. And so I like this program because it's based on a proverb that says, "A strong spirit can sustain a man in bodily harm or illness, but a weak and broken spirit, who can raise up and bear?" And you know, that really is tough when you've gotten a broken spirit after just so long of struggling with a debilitating illness like this. And I just kind of had this picture in my mind of like my own spirit, like a ruined city in ancient Greece. You know, the walls were broken down, the buildings lay in rubble, and just exposed and vulnerable. And so just been working on rebuilding my spirit. So the way I've been doing that is basically it's 3 ways. You can feed your spirit, you need to rest your spirit, and exercise your spirit. And of course those things correlate with what we want to be doing on our recovery path. And so basically you can feed your spirit several times a day. I've been hooking it up with my actual eating times. When I'm feeding and nurturing my body for recovery, I pull out things that will help inspire me and motivate me. So as a person of faith, I pull out what I consider the promises of God, and that encourages me. It lets me know that I'm not alone. It gives me hope for the future. It gives me the sustenance that I need for today. And I might pull up a YouTube vid of my favorite teacher or mentor and just listen to something inspiring as well. So I do that breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, and dinner. You know, you want to be, because this is an intensive rebuilding time, I think of it. It's not just let's motivate ourselves, it's like let's really rebuild our spirits. And so that's been really helping me. If you're not a person of faith, I'd say pull out something that does inspire you, like songs or poetry or books that you loved reading. A lot of these ancient, spiritual texts have been with us through centuries, through thousands of years. And so I think there's a reason why those have spoken to people through difficult times. So I'm sure you'll be able to find something that would really inspire and encourage your spirit. I think that when we're just left alone in our own thoughts, we can just start spiraling downwards. So we want to bring in some outside influence just to build us up. And another thing that's important, I think, is just as in our recovery, we don't want to be feeding ourselves junk food and sugary foods. We don't want to be feeding our spirit stuff that's just not going to encourage us. And after so many years of CFS, I spent a lot of time in bed. And I tell you, Netflix and Amazon, those became like my best friends. And that's okay. There were a lot of great shows that encouraged me, that inspired me, that I just got lost in and were just a pure delight, and that's good. I think that helps to pass the time. But what I also noticed is that there were some shows that just after I watched it, it felt like I just had a burger and fries, just didn't feed my spirit at all. And so we just want to stay away from that toxic stuff and just be mindful of what we're putting into our spirits. Because when you're in a vulnerable position like we pretty much are with CFS, where you're dealing daily with a physical struggle, I think it's really important to input into our spirits and build them up so that can actually help us in recovery. And so that we're managing our mental states and our emotional states in a better way. It can kind of flip us from a mentality of, I'm overwhelmed, I can't handle this, I'll never get better, why is this taking so long, to, I can do this, what is my next step? I'm strong, I can make this happen. I know it's happened for other people, I know it will happen for me. So those are just things that we want to, be putting into our spirit. I know it's going to help us on the recovery path. So this vid we're just talking about the eating, and then I think in the next vid we'll do how to give our spirit rest, how to give our spirit exercise and movement. And on this particular one about eating, eating is little brain fog moment there. Be thinking about your spirit instead of that ruined and broken down spirit. Another visual that really helps me is seeing my spirit as a gleaming city, you know, with a beautiful citadel, the sun shining on it. Just like we take time to visualize for our bodily recovery and visualize ourselves being healthy and whole, it's good to visualize your spirit feeling capable, feeling strong, feeling powerful. So anyway, I hope that helps. If you're on the road to recovery and you're struggling with CFS, wondering, you know, how long is this going to take and when you're going to get out of it, just know there are so many people that have recovered. If it's happened for them, it can happen for you. And I just want to encourage you, life isn't over, it's starting again.